So then it's time to go racing for the first time this weekend. This is what the drivers have been waiting for in the junior class, with our 2 races to get underway this morning. And of course, as we said, 3 races for every single driver. So it's going to be a very quick turnaround, but races they look forward to as always. Quickest man yesterday, of course, was Adam Smalley in kart number 25. He'll start there on pole position for all of his heats, including this first one he's about to take part in. Alongside him on that front row will be the likes of Joe Phillips, makes it an all-British front row. Row 2 then has Xander Prijbalak and Max Pilka alongside him. Back on row 3 it will then be Ruben Del Sarte, and we've also got the likes of Tom Canning as well. Row 4 then has Axel Charpentier and Pietro Wisnicki. Row 5 Enzo Valiante and Glenn Van Berlo. Row 6 is headed by Matthew Latifi, and we've also got Tita Shanghai Schmidi in kart number 89. Back further from them is row number 7, which is Valter Savidris and Madeline Radner, one of our female racers this weekend with us. Row 8 then sees Hans Morin and Luna Bloom, who had a little bit of a problem in warm-up. He spun the kart off the track, which is never the best way to start the weekend. Row number 9 we then have Phil Doer and Hugo Anderson. Back on row 10 is Dirk Seafried and Tom Nilsson. Row 11 is headed by Matilda Olsen, another of our female racers, with Mikael Tigerson. Row 12, Dan Vilhelms and Andreas Marco Andreas Muro. And then row 13 is Jason Ferrate, with alongside him Simon Sjogren. And row 14 is completed with Henry Jung and Kamenik Artzemi to round out the 28 starters for what's going to be the first heat of the day. So they now head out onto the track for the first of 2 warm-up laps. So get as much warmth and heat and everything else into these karts, and of course the tyres. And you can see on your screen there, if you're watching on the feed we have for you this weekend, Adam Smalley in the Coles Racing kart. So Adam Smalley is pushing on hard to try and get the best of the conditions. He is with the Tony kart number 25, and we'll be bringing you, of course, all the action from this race with our great camera positions we have here this weekend as well. So we'll be able to keep up to date and close with the action as well. This one will be over 8 laps, so 8 laps of racing to look forward to. And you may just be able to see there the kind of exit curves on this circuit. Turn 1 is one of those. Over the last few years it has been expanded just to allow the kind of monstrosity of karts that head down there on the first lap, just to use a little bit more of the outside track as well. So you can see one at turn number 1 there, and you also would have seen one down at the exit of turn number 8, where we see just in front of the grandstand quite a bit of runoff as well. So that's where the drivers, if they wish to do so, use that part of the track. So Adam Smalley down towards turn number 4. This is the first hairpin on the circuit. Leads you down the run from the turn 4 hairpin along the back straight. That's where the first sector ends. Then into turn 5, which is the kind of right, left, right chicane. Very tight down there. You can, if you wish to do so, run karts side by side, but it's very tough to do so. But they'll give it a go. You can be assured of that here this weekend. And of course from there you head down this kind of spread out or widened hairpin at turn number 7, which then leads you back towards the grandstand, where our vantage point here in the commentary box is down at turn number 8, and then turns 9 and 10 are the final couple of corners on this circuit. So good formation is what they need to be in as they head their way towards the start finish line. And then of course, as soon as the clerk of the course, Thomas Liner, is happy with everything, he'll unleash the 28 juniors onto the track for the first time this weekend in terms of racing. Watch out for Axel Charpentier a little bit lower down on row number 4, and you may want to be on the inside line down towards turn 1, but sometimes, and we have seen in the past, quite a few running around the outside and trying to gain a few positions. But race number 1 of the weekend here in Genk is about to get underway with 8 laps of racing for the juniors. The lights do go out as they head down towards the first corner. Adam Smalley on the inside run in towards that first corner, being pushed by a few people, and up into second place, tries to come. There's a spin middle of the pack. That may be Axel Charpentier in kart number 88. He may have made contact with his teammate as well. So drama on the first corner. 2 karts have been involved. In fact, 3 karts are out of this race already by the looks of it. One of them is Axel Charpentier, the man who was on for the win at the Winter Cup. He's out of heat number 1 here in Belgium, and also in there as well, just trying to work out who the other karts we may have towards the front. It looks to be 55 possibly, which is Enzo Valiante, but we'll confirm all of that on the timing screen at the end of this first lap. But what drama for Axel Charpentier. He doesn't get further than the exit of turn number 1. It does mean that Adam Smalley is still our leader out front as he works his way to the completion of this first lap. He's followed then by Ruben Del Sarte. Great start from Ruben from row number 3, and a good lunge down the inside there in towards the final corner, and that was a move being made by Pietro Wisnicki to try and get through, which I think he's just about achieved there on number 53, which is the kart then which came from the second row, Xander Prijbalak. All those three carts at turn 1 you may be able to just see have been removed. Yep, to the left of the screen there. They are out the way and includes the likes of Axel Charpentier. Jason Ferrate was another one, and also number 56 was involved there as well, which is Simon Sjogren from near enough the back of the grid. So those three out the race. Not too sure what happened. I think Axel may have just been collected mid-pack there. Then, of course, everyone else got into the action as well. So, drama for Axel. Heat number 1, he's got a lot of work to do, and he could be suffering not getting into the pre-final. But we'll have to wait and see how the rest of the day unfolds. Of course, with being so many entries in juniors, it's going to be hard to get into those pre-finals and finals for tomorrow. But Adam Smalley still leads the way by a gap of 0.6 of a second over Ruben Delsart as they head again into the final corner. A good little battle going on for 5th place by the looks of it, which is then got the car that's kind of dropping down now. I think that's Pietro Visnicki, or is that Glenn Van Berlo? Could be Glenn Van Berlo there, under pressure from Enzo Valiante, trying to get through on the inside line, and he may have just achieved that. Enzo Valiante goes through the left-hander. Joe Phillips, just to point out him, he was on the outside of the front row, and he's now dropped down to 6th place, possibly getting back up into 5th place as he works his way in towards the hairpin. Yep, Joe Phillips has gone through. He then says to the guy behind him, come on, let's work together, let's try and catch up with these 4 out front. And taking with him is Enzo Valiante, Prisha Balak is in there, Tom Canning, and also number 54, which is Max Pilka, who again has dropped from row number 2 down to the far end of the top 10. But that's a good little battle to watch out for. 5 carts now all together. There's Joe Phillips in the cart at the minute, 31 for Spirit Racing, as he works his way through then on towards the next lap. We are nearly at half race distance. The completion of lap number 3 is now done, so Adam Smalley goes through. He has a margin of under half a second now over Ruben Delsarte, but then that gets even closer at turn 1, down to around about 0.3 of a second now. 3rd place is Glenn Van Berlo. 4th place is 45, which is the cart which has done really well off the start, Pietro Visnicki. And there's Joe Phillips still going very well. He's just broken away now from Enzo Valiante. So he's done the first job. The second job is now in hand to try and catch those top 4. So watch out for the very quick Joe Phillips. I think this is going to be an occurrence this weekend. If you're on the outside line, you're going to be caught out and maybe dropping yourself down the field. So watch out for those who have qualified on the outside rows. Those on the inside should be fairly good, depending on if they make any contact with anyone, because it does get very jumbled up down towards the first corner. There goes Adam Smalley in towards the last turn on this Genk circuit. Ruben's got a lot closer on this lap. 0.3 it was the previous time round. This time it could be much less. He's now starting to get a nice toe off the back of Adam Smalley as well as they work their way in towards the first corner. Again, it comes down. Good lap there from Ruben. 57.5 was his best, and that was that last lap, compared to a 57.6 near enough from Adam Smalley. So Adam's looking good, Ruben's looking even better, and Joe Phillips, watch out for him now in 5th position. He's just behind these two as he works his way onto the back straight. He's got to try and get past Pietro Visnicki here. Can he get the job done at turn number 5? No, he can't, although someone who's gone with him now is his teammate Tom Canning. So Tom and Joe could possibly work together here. What can they do at turn number 7? Still everyone holding that inside line, so no room to try and get through. But here comes Joe for a move down towards turn number 8. Can he get the job done? Not quite. He tries to sneak the kart towards the inside line. He then loses speed on the exit of the corner, which means he's going to be under attack from Tom Canning now in towards the final turn. Does Tom go for a jink? Yes, he does, into the inside line, and Tom Canning gets himself up into 5th position ahead of his teammate Joe Phillips, who has a slight look behind him just to see who he's got on his toe now. It's Enzo Valiante by the looks of it, who had just dropped back slightly there, but now Enzo back up to speed. There goes Tom Canning for a move on our 4th place man. Contact between the two, but it's nice enough to get through there. And Joe Phillips tries to get through on the inside run as well, but the door was just slammed in his face from Visnicki. Tries at turn 4, and that time it does work, or does it? It's going to be slow on the exit of the corner. Enzo Valiante tries to come into the mix as well, and also you've got to look out for the cart of Max Pilka, who tried to squeeze down the inside line as well, but a real shuffle towards the head of this field now, which sees Tom Canning and Joe Phillips go through. There's another move looking to be made just behind there, and that was the cart of Enzo Valiante, possibly, who nearly got his way through. Change for second has happened. Just to let you know, Glenn Van Berlo has moved ahead now of Ruben Delsarte, and he now attacks the back of Adam Smalley. So there's too many battles to keep an eye on here in this first race of the weekend, but it's what we want to see. Some really good racing here at the Genk circuit always. And what can Adam Smalley do about defending from Glenn Van Berlo? The gap is now around about 1/10 of a second as we start the 7th lap of this race. 2 to go for everybody now. And now as they charge their way on towards turn number 4, can Glenn look for a move at turn 4? He touches the back of Adam Smalley just to unsettle him slightly in towards the entrance of the corner. But in doing so, he's now going to be under attack from the man behind. Ruben Del Sarte again. They get very close for comfort in towards turn number 5. And it's a four-way fight for the lead of the race now, because Tom Canning has come right onto the tail of the top 3. So Tom's going to try for a move, which he does down at turn 3. For third place down at turn number 7. So Tom Canning gets through. In the process, it's just allowed the top 2 to break away. But what a race this has been from Tom Canning. Of course, again, he was on the outside line down off the start, and there has been a change for the lead then. Through goes Glenn Van Berlo. He gets the lead away from Adam Smalley with just 1 lap to go as they come through. And here comes Tom Canning, bumping and boring the back of Adam Smalley. There goes Joe Phillips for 4th place as well, down towards turn number 1. So anything could happen now on this last lap of heat number 1 of the juniors. It's Glenn Van Berlo that leads the way. 2nd is Adam Smalley. 3rd, Tom Canning, and 4th is going to be that of Joe Phillips, who's going to make the move at turn 4. A little bit of a rear end step out there from Tom Canning, as he got hard on the brakes to try and get a move done on Adam Smalley. That's still nose to tail down towards turn number 5. They all go very defensive and hug the inside line, and then you've got to try and work your way around the outside, which is never easy to do. But let's see if Tom Canning or Joe Phillips can do it. No, they can't. But look at that lead for Glenn Van Berlo. He's pulled away dramatically now from everybody else. He's on his way to his first victory of the season. But what will happen for 2nd place? There's now 7 cars all together as they head down towards the final corner. And again, Tom Canning gets a little bit squirrely on the rear end there. There's more changes happening aplenty, but it's Glenn Van Berlo who takes the first win of the day here in Genk. He takes victory by what's going to be over a second in the end, ahead of Adam Smalley, who did his best to defend from the rest of the pack. So well done to Glenn Van Berlo. 2nd was Adam Smalley by 1.8 seconds, which is monumental pretty much in karting terms. And then behind that, it was kind of anyone's guess who came through in 3rd, because they were so close together. But it was Tom Canning who got 3rd, made up 3 places on that starting grid. Joe Phillips dropped 2 after being on the outside down towards turn number 1. He comes through in 4th, and it was Prij Balak who then completes your top 5. The rest of the order was Ruben Del Sarte in 6th, Enzo Valiante in 7th, Pietro Wisnicki in 8th, Hugo Anderson in 9th, and Matthew Latifi. What a race for Matthew. He came up from 11th to 10th, but he's got to be really happy with that. 11th place was Pilka, and what a race for Wilhelms as well in kart number 34. He made his way from what was quite a way down on the grid there. Where was number 34? He was 23rd on the grid. So Dan Wilhelms worked his way through. What a race for him. That's a good progress. But disaster after heat number 1 for the likes of Axel Charpentier, Jason Ferrate, and of course Sjogren, who got no further than turn number 1.